to our viewers and listeners. Um, this is 954 Miles of Conversation podcast. Today, where we have our Christie McDonald, my co-host, and we got Otey Moss, who is not a stranger to 954 Miles of Conversation. Thank you for joining us today. He's on the
Appreciate
episode.
y'all having me.
Yeah, he's on an episode of when we was talking about death, and I'll talk a little bit more about that in a minute. This is 954 Miles of Conversation podcast, where we explore boundless conversation 1 mile at a time. There's not a topic that we're not going to discuss on this podcast. Today's show is in reference to votes, vows, love, work, and faith in the political changed world. This is something that's going on right now. So we're going to discuss what has happened in the last couple of months with your personal lives and what you've been dealing with. And I'll start off first with that. I just finished my Omega Achievement Week in Little Rock. Worked hard on that project. Went to Little Rock for a whole week. Uh, raised some money for children up there from some college students that getting ready to go to school to get an opportunity to help them succeed and license to another level. Uh, 954 Miles of Conversation, we've been busy. We've been actually shaping our brand up to the point to where I went to the city of McKinney and got a 10-year license to do business in the city of McKinney, Texas. So we're official here in McKinney, Texas. We're working on our LLC. We do have an EIN number, and there's things that's looking up for 954 Miles of Conversation. So we're going to tune it up for 2025. We also I did when I was in Little Rock, and Christy can vouch to that. We did a Zoom trying to help people with death and insurance, and we had professional people to come on. It was awesome. We had about 25 people on there at one time, on and off with that Zoom. So trying to help people get situated with death, and so you wouldn't have those burdens of leave for your family members to deal with, because we don't talk about death quite a bit. And so Christy can relate to this, that 4 or 5. I've been going to Arkansas in the last 3, 4 months over funerals, and Moss, I know you have, because my relatives have told me that they see you at the funeral. So I know you've been going. So it's like every time you turn around, and I'm double nickel, and the people that is passing away now, they're our age. So tomorrow's not
Yeah.
promising none of us at this particular moment. So I have to say I have to live it to the fullest, to the best of my ability, and make sure that I try to at least have some kind of legacy if I do pass away, that people can see what that legacy was, because the beginning was 1969. Now the ending date, I don't know what's going to be the ending date, but what's up in the middle is that legacy that I'm building, and that I want somebody to cherish on of what I did, and at least if I help 1 or 2 people, I think I did a wonderful thing. But I know I helped more than 1 or 2 people. God has showed me that. He done blessed me with that. Okay, so we did some advertising. Uh, Christy, we did some advertising. We advertised a debutante. We sponsored that advertisement with the
Okay.
debutantes, and we did a couple of advertisements in the Palmacone chapter of Omega Sapphire Achievement Week booklet. And I want to show this one because I like this one. Look at this. Yeah.
Okay.
That is a great
Okay.
advertising.
Yeah.
And I had somebody to do this one here. Yeah, and then I always got to do me. You know what I'm saying? You always got to do yourself.
Well, I wouldn't expect any less.
Yeah, yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Real. I
So,
wouldn't.
Christy, what's been going on with you? What's been going on with you, Christy?
Well, I was in Arkansas during the same time I had an aunt that passed away, and I attended one of your nice events there.
Yeah, you did.
And to my amazement, I learned a lot. There was a lot of great information there. And one of the speakers I think he said he was 47 years of age. And a couple of years ago, he had a heart attack. He was on his treadmill and he was working out. And he said he felt like something of sharp pain, and he kept trying to, get into the groove. And he was like, "Wait a minute, this is hurting." So he went back to work, and then he got back into work mode. And he said, "Wait, I'm not feeling good." So he said, "I'm going to go home and lay down." So on his way home, he decided he was going to stop at a hospital and say he's just going to get checked out, and he had to have a triple bypass. So yeah, and he was standing in Little Rock at 47, because I asked him, I said, "How old are you?" So I'm older than he is now. He said he was 47, and I said, "Wow," and this happened a couple of years ago. So life is not promised. So I have learned, just through that, and before he even mentioned that, to prioritize things, put myself first. And then especially what we're talking about tonight in this politically charged nation world, that we see all these things that are happening. We just have to prioritize our faith. We have to prioritize our lives and the way we live. And we just have to really think about things. And so I thank you for inviting me to that event, Will. It was really a really good event. It talked about all of your numbers. They gave some great information. And not just to listen to what the doctors are saying. We all know that. But we were provided a purple folder, of course, that we take to our doctor's office. And that gives you a list of things that you need to talk to your provider about.
Mm-hmm.
So I thought it was really good. So that, so that's what I've been doing. So I've, been traveling like you have.
Yeah.
And so now I'm back.
Yeah.
And kind of,
I'm glad you're off your sabbatical. I am. I'm happy to see you again. I really, I really am. Moss, what you been up to? And for the viewers, Otey Moss and I are related. Okay, so we're related. So, and Christie is the middle person. She's a friend of both of us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and so if we double team her tonight, don't take it personal. Okay.
they won't though. Because one of them is truly my boy. I'm not going to say which one it is, though.
Moss, what you been up to, man? What you been up to? I know you've been traveling. I've seen you on some stuff with some family members. Matter of fact, when I was down there last week, one of our cousins, last name Combs, passed away.
Yeah. Rico, right?
Yeah, something like that. Mm-hmm.
And I wish I would have had a chance to meet cousin Rico, but I'm a Cone, and make a long story short, through my great grandmother.
Mm.
So I'm way down in the Cone family tree.
Yeah.
But I'm kin to, and see, William has a double identity, okay? But I guess I do too. Because when I met Cuz, he was Terrell. And I still call him Terrell. So that's what that T stand for, that middle initial. So y'all gonna have to bear with me when y'all hear me call him Terrell throughout this podcast.
That was
but anyhow, as far as what I've been doing, I do maintain a family website. I think this is probably close to my third year in maintaining the Cone family page on Facebook.
Mm.
And so that's why, we talk about Rico Cone. He definitely is directly, and the Cone family's got two big branches, okay?
Yeah.
And a lot of folks down there in Fordyce, Arkansas, where Ellisville, Arkansas being the root of the family. Both Vaughn and Cone family. So I'm kin to Terrell through the Vaughn side.
Mm.
But my great-great-grandfather was a Vaughn, and my great-great-grandma was a Cone. So that's how I'm tied into both.
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah, we've been talking about our family history for quite some time since we met, and it's some stories we could do a whole show just off of that. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we could do a whole show off of that.
He's a historian. He's been on TV for that too.
Yeah. So I mean, but my thing is what's going on right now.
Oh, let's talk about
it, folks. I mean, everybody's quarterbacking. The fact is that their candidate didn't win. they quarterbacking, and the reason why. We can all do that if we want to, but you got to understand something. Did she really have the time to really run a wonderful campaign to make herself sellable to the American people? Did she have the time? I mean, there are certain things that and I'm gonna be very honest with you. I didn't support neither candidate. I'm gonna be honest with you.
Okay.
I just because the fact is, I guess from my experiences and from me reading the United States Constitution and understanding the United States Constitution, I know the popular vote will not put a president in the White House. And if those that's listening to this, if you don't know that, I challenge you to read the United States Constitution.
Well, and we've already seen that with Hillary Clinton.
Yeah.
Okay.
Correct.
She had the popular vote overwhelmingly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you saw the electors made a different decision.
Yes.
And so now I think it's 6 presidents that were elected contrary to the will of the popular vote.
Right.
Yes.
But so the rest of them had the popular vote as well as the electoral vote.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But you do have the exceptions, just like number 45, soon to be number 47. Both. Well, now number 47, we can talk about the dynamics behind this election because I think there's a whole lot of stuff that don't quite line up, but I can't prove it.
Right.
Can't prove it.
Mm-hmm.
But it just, it just don't seem to be representative of, you talk about landslide electoral votes, and I'm kind of like, okay, you mean to tell me that the states which were blue back last cycle all of a sudden flipped red? Okay. And I'm just saying, you would have thought that there would have been some purpling going on there, as they want to call it now. You had, some good mix of GOP and DNC, but them states just basically turned their backs. The electors, anyway, turned their backs on the DNC.
Yeah.
Or did they, or was it a paid-for election? Was it a bought election?
We
don't know that, but
we don't know. But
we don't know that.
But it's like, but you see little memes that pop up talking about, Elon Musk, I don't, and I can't authenticate it, but it just looked real suspicious. You got somebody of that personality, that type of standing that would say, hey, anything can be hacked.
Well, I mean, I as a detective, I call it a clue.
And look, and I would too, and I'm not in law enforcement, but I would think that's a clue, a nugget, an indicator. We got all kind of terms we can say for it.
Yeah,
but
I agree.
You just can't prove it.
That's true. You cannot prove it. I think we done lost Christie.
She'll come back.
She'll come back in. I hope she come back in. Yeah, like she just disappeared. So, here she come.
Sorry, I got kicked out.
Yeah, you did. Yeah. Yeah.
And see, that could be another one of them conspiracy things. See, Big Brother might be listening. You done got notorious, Terrell. And Big Brother he decided he gonna watch you.
It was strange. It was really strange. As soon as I said that, I had some technology issues.
Well, listen, it is what it is. Hold on. I can say it. I can look here. Here we go. That's our motto. Stop putting lipstick on the go really tell the truth.
Well, I asked that question because I saw a podcast that I thought was pretty interesting, and I shared it with Terrell at the time.
So now, okay, you gonna call me Terrell too? Huh?
Well, I was just gonna keep it consistent.
Okay, whatever.
Because you already know my boy said he's gonna So okay, don't start tonight. So I saw a podcast that I shared that had Elon Musk on it, and he was talking about it, and it's not made up. It was actually a real podcast that has been taken down now.
Yeah, we talked about that.
Where he talked about that he actually knew that it was a 1% of people that they were going to pay for this election. And he verbalized it. He said it. It's not just me saying it. It was floating around out there, and I happened to share it with Terrell before it was taken down. Actually, I went back to see it after the election, after the numbers and actually everything had happened, and it was taken down. But he said that and it was after the ladies of Alpha Kappa Alpha raised $2 million. And I think the podcast question was to Elon is that. What do you think about her surprising, overwhelming, her popularity, this money that she's able to raise? She's put on the best campaign. And he said, I'm not worried about it. They can raise as much money as they want. They will never have enough money to pay for it, to buy an election. To buy an election. And that's what he said. That's not something that I'm only repeating what he verbalized and said. And he said they will never have enough money to pay for an election. And he said that he footed the bill. He said the guy asked, he said, well, is it because President Trump said it's $25 million a month? He said, well, it's not $25 million a month, but it's something like that. So I was just asking the question, do you think, based on something that he said, do you think that the election could have been bought and paid for? So that's why the question came up. That's why the question came in.
I'm not going to say that it's not. I'm not going to say that.
Well, and I'm not either, but it's just being able to prove it. But but looking at what he's alluded to. Okay, so you got to flip that statement in reverse. Like, right. Okay, well, he's saying they don't have the money to buy elections, so you saying you do?
He said it's a 1%. He said it was a group of about 10 of them. He said it's called the political. He had a name for it, and the guy said, "Oh, you mean the political PAC?" He said he just kind of laughed and he chuckled. He said, "Well, yeah, if that's what you want to call it, but it's 1%." He's like, we're less than 1%. It's about 13 of us that have the money to literally that we can do this, and that's what he said.
Yeah, that's exactly what he said.
So, well,
it was interesting, and
it really was shocking.
Educational that like they talked about. There's no point in the electoral college. There's no point in any of that because they have enough money. He said, what you don't understand is the elections they're bought and they're paid for. Right. And, I didn't realize any of that. That was the first time that I was really enlightened to hear something like that. So I heard it and I shared it. And that's the end of that.
So then again, though, okay, so that opens a can of worms in itself. Yeah. So it's like, okay, so you're saying now, as somebody who was in one of my past lives, and I'm not talking about, I've lived one life, but I've had different hats. And so sometimes I call those, phases of my life, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
So in this particular phase of my life, which has been, quite a few years removed now.
Okay.
He told me that we're not in democracy, we're in a republic.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought about that. I said, well, yes, you look at the Pledge of Allegiance, it don't say anything about us being a democracy. It says for the republic.
To the republic.
To the republic for which we stands, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so it's like, so now the republic, to the republic for which it stands. We choose to say that we believe in democracy, right?
Mm-hmm.
But how does that really look when you talk about, the past 5 to 8 years, right? So is it so it's definitely not a purist form of democracy.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yes, we do have a voting process. We're supposed to have fair and free elections. But then if you combine an election, it's not fair nor free.
No, it's not.
No, it's not.
No. And I want to say something. I'm going to piggyback off of you, Otey, about democracy. Democracy is not in the United States Constitution. No. Or the word democracy is not in there. Or the Declaration of Independence. Democracy is not in it. It's nowhere in there. And so, and for our viewers and listeners, don't take what we're saying, our word for it. Research it yourself. This is stuff that you can Google and you can find out yourself about what we are talking about. So that's what we do. I one thing I can say about me as a host and the founder and owner of this podcast is that I do a lot of research. I've always been a researcher. So I try to research things before I even get out there and do it. So I go where exactly where I got it from, and I keep my notes. So that's what makes you, I guess, accountable for what you're saying, and you're responsible for the content that you're putting out there for the truth. And so we're talking about our experiences, and that's why I tell everybody we talk about what we experience. And so what you experience in this election at this particular time, I mean, we all experience something different. I'm going to the next phase of this topic of vows and love. I'm not. I've heard about couples breaking up. I've heard about the issues that this election did cause from friends of mine that I've talked to closely about it. And I'm gonna be honest. I'm gonna put it out here. Myself and Christie, we had some knockdown dragouts over this election. When we would go back and forth about pros and cons, I was getting her prepared for what she was getting ready to face, and she didn't want to wake up from that. She couldn't believe what I was saying, what was going to happen, and what the turnout was going to be. And we went back and forth. And Christie, I'm not putting lipstick on the gorilla. I was saying that
I think I want you to put a little lipstick on the gorilla. You don't have to tell everything that we talk about.
No,
I'm
not
telling.
telling.
Wait a minute. I got to interject.
It's kind of like that, like me and Otey have some stuff that that we have that's personal that we don't talk about. You can keep that one to yourself too. You don't have to talk about it.
First of all, I'm not talking about in great detail, but did we get into it? Yes.
But wait. Now I gotta take a personal exception to this lipstick on the gorilla, okay? Because we already know my organization has a very fraternal organization. We have a very, very keen affinity for the primates. Okay. Even though we're not in that stage anymore as alpha men, but we have an affinity. So the lipstick on a pig. But maybe he didn't want to use pig because pig gets associated with law enforcement, So.
He likes to he does that. Sometimes when he gets into his thing, he will start, doing zoo animal things. And
I feel him. Because look, some of these folk we gonna be talking about, and probably still gonna be talking about after this podcast is over. Some of them belong in a zoo.
I don't think people know how full I have my hands with the two of you.
Listen, you can't make this up. You can't make it up.
You can't. And I look, you ain't even got to pay me to repeat that because I'll say that freely. Some people belong in a zoo.
He really will.
Or an aquarium somewhere. They ain't civilized enough to be in a botanical environment, okay? We ain't talking about no arboretums. No.
Oh my God.
This is my life.
Oh my God.
People don't realize this is my life. So yes, it was a knockdown drag out, and one day I just got tired of it. And the gloves were off. And so yes, I said some choice words. He said he said some back. Okay.
So let me.
There's no lipstick. I said it. I own it. I owned it. I said it, and then once I said it, I then shared the video with him.
Yeah.
Of of this. I might have even apologized. I don't think I did. You know what
No,
the word?
you didn't.
Oh,
You double down.
So Terrell, so were you being devil's advocate, or was you just being a straight a-hole about your conviction?
He has a
Oh, now I understand the problem now.
Oh God.
To do that. You know what? Most of the men in my life have a tendency to do that. They have a tendency to be very, because I think it's my personality. I think I let them get away with a lot. Terrell gets away with a lot. He had got away with that whole election thing. He had gotten away with that thing every day, hounding me. That this
every day. Come on now.
Listen.
Get
I'm
ready.
gonna tell you about my sister. My sister. I call her my sister because we really are. I love her like a sister because I hate sometimes that she's smart, she's intelligent, but just a little bit naive. That's all. Just a little bit. And I try to prepare my sister. I be trying to put some cushion up on her. Okay. So when she falls, she won't fall too hard.
Anybody that knows me know I have a lot of cushion.
Yeah.
So I ain't no problem if I fall. I got plenty of cushion. Anybody that know me know that.
But let me ask you this, and I'm not trying to put nobody on the spot.
Oh, he's doing that tonight, though. You doing
that?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'm not trying to put you on the spot. But at the end of the day, our content is real. We're real people. Okay, our experiences are real.
Ain't none of this
Christie, how did you feel? How did you feel when you heard the results? Tell the truth.
I wasn't surprised because I was prepared. I was ready. I wasn't surprised, and I think I was almost relieved, to be honest. Okay. Because you can look at the aftermath. Look at everything that's happening. Look at it. Look at what's going on. Yeah. I mean, I think we need to see the things that are happening. From the man who was senselessly killed in Mississippi, we need to really. I know we've been saying woke, but we really need to wake up because some things that are happening that I can't even believe it. But I am not naive to it anymore. I have done some research, and I fully understand what they're capable of and what they're doing. So,
good. Moss, what about you? What was your take on
it? This may be a unconventional take on it, but I think it's the right one for me. So look, I watched the election, all the conversation and all that stuff about the votes and the dynamics and all these, they hype it up like, well, if she can get or if he gets and this, that, and they keep everything hypothetical to where folks are just on edge, right? And I said, you know what? When 10 o'clock came, I said, I did what I could do. I voted by absentee ballot, which I would encourage everybody. Because, even if people can buy elections, right?
Right.
It sure the heck ain't gonna be my fault that I couldn't get in a voting line, a poll line in time to get my vote cast. Like, you know what? I'm getting that absentee ballot and I'm gonna send it in before everybody. So I know my vote gonna count. I'm gonna follow the instructions. I'm gonna even pay the postage. See, and I know that this may sound like I'm being condescending to some people, but I'm telling you, people, for whatever reason, it's kind of like, okay, when you use postal mail, one thing is, and I don't know about y'all, but I go physically in the post office and ask them to weigh my package.
Okay.
because I want it to have proper postage
Mm.
and it to be recorded that way, and it don't come back return to sender. Okay.
Okay.
I do this just to have that warm and fuzzy, and especially since I got my absentee ballot 3 weeks before the election, and it was in my house just a little bit less than a week before I completed it and got it notarized, because we have to do that here in Oklahoma.
Okay.
And
That is interesting to weigh your packages.
telling you,
Hey,
I
that's
do
an
that,
interesting
though.
thing.
I do that.
That's an experience that I don't even think nobody has really you talked about that, about the package being weighed. Even when you talking about the people on the news who talking about send your votes in, they didn't never talk about weighing that package, because that does make sense.
Look, and never tell you make sure to pay proper postage.
Yeah.
But that's something that they should be telling us.
Right.
That's true.
That's true. That's true. I'm finna move to something here because we work. All three of us work right now. I went back to work. I thought it was a part time. But
you got hoodwinked.
Seem like you work full time.
Yeah, it seems like I work. I just work. I know when I do work, I work some long hours. I mean,
man, you might need to renegotiate your contract, your terms and conditions. Well, it sounds like to me.
It's a 12. It's a 12. Either 12-hour day. Most of them are 12-hour days when I do work.
Or 24 hours.
Yeah, or 24.
See.
Yeah, I had to, and I say I had to go to Tennessee from Texas, and travel overnight, drive overnight, and then turn around, come back late Friday. So I was dead tired, and this is the little cat nap stuff, but. So it's tedious, but it's enjoyable. It's kind of stuff I used to do when I was with the federal government, with the FBI back in the day. So something similar to that. But either way, it's working. I know, Christy, you've been working constantly. You worked last week when you was down there in Pine Bluff, so you was working. And then, Otey, I know you always on the move in the workplace. Is things changing with the people you're talking to and dealing with now?
So I'll speak on my experience, right?
Okay.
So I think that I have crafted my persona well enough to where folks know not to be bringing that kind of energy to me while I'm at work.
Okay.
And so now we can, we've had, well, maybe not since the election, but there have been conversations that that I consider to be safe when it came to just talking about the facts, when it came to the candidates, right? And so now a lot of people, if you don't know how to manage that conversation, then it goes from being like fact finding or statements of facts to, oh, well, this is my personal opinion about these issues that are hot button issues. And so, I do my best to project an air of, hey, look, it's about the business for me. Yeah. Yes, I do like some of you all. I don't trust none of you, but I like some of you. And the thing is, I'm not going to let a conversation or a ornery person or somebody that's wanting to bait me into a discussion I don't feel like having affect my livelihood and my paycheck.
I understand. What about you, Christy?
Well, I work for the state, and everybody is very so no issues with my employment. I mean, everybody's very respectful because we're in social services, so it's a different set of people who are very emotional, intelligent. So we don't have those types of discussions, and if we do, everybody's very respectable. because I think you have to have a high IQ for emotional intelligence when you're dealing with the public and when you're dealing with everyday people of all walks of life.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
I've had one encounter, but it was interesting because the gentleman that brought the conversation up, I was kind of shocked. I was like, I basically said I don't discuss politics.
Mm-hmm.
While I'm working, I just don't get into that. And
Mm-hmm.
he said, no, we're not going to discuss it, but I'm just going to tell you why I like him.
Uh-oh.
I don't want to eat at the dinner table with him. I don't care
Oh.
for him like that, but I like his policies. And I says, and his thought process. So what did he just tell me?
Everything,
he told you
everything you
everything
need
that
to
you
know.
needed to know that you didn't even ask.
Yeah,
You
I wasn't
ain't
even
asking for
asking
all
for
that.
it. I ain't asking for that. I did, but he gave it to me. So I
And
was
they
like,
like to
okay.
justify it that way. I've
Yeah.
seen a lot of people justify it that way.
Yeah.
You know, um, they'll say, well, it's not that we agree with everything that he says, but you have to remember, you have to look at Project 2025. You have to look at everything that they're doing right now, and you have to just piece it together. It's not like you can say things like that. It's different. So I don't think that people really get it or understand when they say things like that, the magnitude or impact that it has, because it tells us everything that we need to know.
Right.
Yeah,
How am I gonna move around you?
yeah. Let me say this. Does people close their eyes to racism in America, just like the blinds on your house and your windows?
They
You
do.
close
They
the
do.
blinds on your in your windows, and that's what you're doing to what's going on in America now. You closing your eyes to it because you really don't want to see it or acknowledge it.
Well, not so fast though. I think that this election has woke up people. I see a lot of things about the Willie Lynch letters and how the impact it has on, society. So no, I think that people are, I think they're seeing, I think it's different. I think people are waking up. I think that they're understanding more, they're digging more, they're researching more, they're understanding more. And of course, everything that I see, I share with you guys, and you guys share with me alike. So I think people are waking up to some things. I think that this election was very helpful um, for with that in that regards. But also, you shared something with me today that that's a little different. I mean, yeah,
Yeah.
you want, yeah, you want to talk, you want to. I don't talk. You share it.
No, no. You are you talking about the video? What are you talking about?
You
Okay,
know the video I'm talking about.
yeah.
You tell
Okay.
everything else. We
Is
got
this
it.
gonna be my first time seeing the video?
I don't know. I don't know. Is this
I
your
don't.
first time?
I don't
Okay, well,
think. I
hey, I
don't
mean,
think
you
it
can roll.
is.
I can talk to it regardless.
Yeah, I don't. I share this video with you that I want to share with the viewers and just to see what they want to see how you reply to this and what's going on. But here's something that I thought about.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at the fact is when people talk about the differences in America, because I done talked to some foreigners and I can talk to a stop sign if it'll answer me. I can talk.
He
Okay,
does. He
I do.
literally
I
does.
don't.
He literally does.
I
He's not.
talk to anybody, and so I have been talking to people. I talk to people, and I just strike up a conversation. I did that today, and so one of the things that I told someone, I says, is it the fact is that people don't believe that America is racist because the signs are down? There's not black only, they're not white only. That's the only time they relate to it. So what if America put the signs up? How would people respond to it?
The signs up, talk about like
Black,
sundown town kind of signs.
yeah, black only,
Put him
and
up.
whites only. Put them
Put
up.
them
I
up.
mean,
They will see how powerful that black dollar is. Put them up.
Well,
Put them
but
up.
the thing is, so we're not talking about something new, right?
Not a new concept.
This is all a shell game,
yeah,
and even Tupac, as imperfect but as great as he was,
Yes.
he said that they are the ones who change and rearrange, right? And we know who he meant they was. He wasn't talking about the brown and the yellow and the black folks. You know, he was talking about the folks that had the privilege and power to change and rearrange. And so this is, you know, the same kind of deal. So it's just like, you know, we talk about this concept of people saying America is no longer racist and all this, but you know, it's in keeping with what was called the Southern strategy. You find a way to say something without actually saying the word.
Yeah.
Okay.
So just like, you know, how you talk about they really want to call us Negroes, and I'm being nice. You
And
know,
make America
what they
and
want
make
to
America great again with
and
us
make it,
being in the place that we supposed to be.
yeah, right, and make and so all this stuff, you know, they come up with code words
Yes.
to hide their true feelings about certain topics. You know, and so instead of calling us Negroes, and like I say, you know, I'm being nice about it.
Yeah.
You know, they really want to use the other N word about it.
Yeah.
But then they'll say, oh, well, remember, you know, they said thugs. So thug now is the new word for the N word. And they probably have gone to another word, right? That we, you know, still got yet to percolate, but they find a way to creatively change the context of terms to hide what they really feel, really want to say to us as the brown and the black folks.
I can see that. I can see
I
that. I
agree.
mean, but what about? And here's the last part of this conversation: the faith, because the religious entity of this,
Speak on it.
the religious entity of this, I don't even. I got a Bible in my house. I hope you all do too. But when
We
you
do.
read it, are we really reading the truth now? Because everybody's changing it to what they want it to be.
Woo!
Well, you know,
That was. Did you hear what he just said though?
I said
He said
yeah,
everybody's changing it
everybody is changing it to
to
what their
what they
agenda, what they
to
want it
what
to be,
for an agenda.
for an agenda.
But people
Yes.
have done that historically, though.
Yeah.
yes,
You know what I'm saying? People take
yes.
scriptures and they interpret them any way that they want to. So that's nothing new, though.
Okay.
It's nothing new.
It's
But
nothing new.
I want to put a few spins on this
Okay.
because, you know, I look at this as, especially talking about the faith, and you know, and I'm not to presume that everybody that's a listener or you know that is a follower of the podcast, you know, affiliates with or identifies with being a Christian.
Okay.
I do, but even you know, as far as human history has gone, there's always been some type of moral code. So, and the thing that Christians have to realize is we the baby out the whole bunch. Our belief system, our tenets, has only been in existence, you know, officially for maybe what close to 2,500 years, right? You know, as far as you know, if you go back to the original writings, you know, now you had other belief systems that share a lot of things, a lot of tenets with the Christian. It started out being the way movement, but you got so the negative confessions being one of them, right? So that is way older than the Bible books.
Okay.
And
You, Moss, you done hit something that really brings in a segue of what this video I'm finna get ready to play.
They're not ready for that video. Don't do that.
Yeah, no, listen, they may not be ready for this video, but the viewers and the listeners need to pay attention to this video because it's deep. It's deep. And then I'm gonna give you all a little bit to talk about it and you
all
can
right,
go from there. But I want your opinion on it once this video is out there, okay? This is not my video. This is something that I just was talking to another person before we got on here, and that video popped up, and I was like, whoa. And I said, let me download this, and I can use this tonight. So this is not my content. So this is someone else's content. Okay, but here we go. Let's look at this.
Oh my gosh, just look at this.
Let me say this, and this is gonna hurt a lot of people's feelings. And I'm saying this with respect, okay? All right? Let me tell y'all something. If the religion that they've given us, right? Not the real thing, but the version of religion that they've gave us, if it had any significant power of helping black people or people in general getting out of their current situation, we would have never been introduced to it.
Whoa.
We would have never.
Whoa. Pop it up. Say it again, bro.
Listen, if the religion that they given us, right, if that had any type of significant power or any type of power helping black people or any people get out of their current situation, we would have never been introduced to it.
Whoa.
If you go look at the Vatican, you see the library of books they done kept from us. Why they ain't give us them books? We all know that the Vatican got all the books when it deals with astrology, numbers. But they took this out, they took that out, put this out, and here you go. And if it, like I say, if the religion that they giving us, their version of the religion, King James, the one they keep chopping up and regurgitating and all this and that, if that version of the Bible or religion had any significant power to help black people get out their current situation or people in general, we would have never been introduced to it.
Wow.
Okay, that's powerful.
Mm-hmm.
What he just said. This is just I shared that video because the young lady I was talking to, we were talking about that, and when it popped up, I said, "Ooh, you got to see what just popped up," and I sent it to her, and she was like, "We were just talking about that, and it popped up." And so when you was talking about religion part, Otey, that was a good segue for me to bring that in there. So I'm gonna let you have the flow on that. You can speak on it if you like.
All right. So I understand the vitriol that was behind that video. But the thing is, see, it's so few people, I'll say relatively. And, I first, I want to say that, I am a student of the good book. I'm not a clergyman, but I can read things. And I know I was brought up a certain way. I grew up in a house where my mom was apostolic and my dad is Baptist. Okay. So I had different perspectives from the same book in my own house. But there are some critical bad assumptions that were made in the video that we just saw. One, okay, let's talk about what he said, the religion they gave us. White people did not give us the Bible. Okay. The Bible started out as individual books for brown-skinned folks over in Africa. And the biggest proof of that is you look at the Coptic Christians. So the Coptic Christians are the oldest known branch of Christianity. They predate the Catholic Church. And so if you want to start talking about whose religion Christianity is, it first belonged to Africans. White folks came and corrupted the text for their own benefit.
And we just discussed people who take the text for their own benefits. We just discussed that.
And matter of fact, and the thing is, see, it's a lot of presumptions. We give white folks too much credit. We do. But for stealing our stuff and then telling us the wrong viewpoints about the stuff, and then we say it was theirs. It's like, no, they stole it. They misappropriated it. And then they misinformed us about our stuff. That's what we need to be talking about. So, and then let's talk about King James, right?
Yeah.
King James was what? Nobody ever said he was a prophet. Nobody ever said he was a preacher. Nobody ever said he was a scribe. King James, the biggest contribution he made to the spread of the Bible was to have the scribes. He ordered the scribes. He commissioned the Bible to be put together. He ordered the scribes to translate those books and to make them available for, general use, right? Because at one point in time, the only folks who could read the Bible were priests. They were the only ones who knew the languages. But so King James did the world a solid, even though, yes, he was gay or homosexual, right? Yes. But you know what? But he was not a man of God. He was not a disciple, people. You can't give him more authority than he had. His lot in the Christian philosophy was to help the gospel spread through, in this case, Anglo-Saxon culture. Okay? That's all he did. It was a big thing, but we are supposed to be smarter.
He said it all.
Okay? We, as brown people, black people, are supposed to be smarter than that crap. Well, a homosexual gonna give you a religion? He didn't do it. He didn't give us a damn thing. He just made it more available for people to read.
Boy, that's my boy.
Okay? And we're just being real about it. Get off of King James testicles. He ain't nobody to be looked up to. He just helped the spread of the gospel. We just need to look at it that way.
Oh God.
That's my boy. That's my boy. He said it all. You can end on that note. You can end on that.
You cannot come back off of that. That was
You can't.
listen.
It ain't nothing else to say. He said
It
it
ain't nothing else to say. You dropped the mic on that, Otey. You dropped the mic on that one, baby. You did. You dropped the mic on it. I have to give you your props on that. You dropped the mic on it. So Christie,
I got nothing.
You got nothing.
He was ready for that. He was ready.
He was ready for it. He was ready for it.
It's like he knew he was ready.
Listen.
I said they weren't ready for the conversation. I lied. He was ready.
Yeah, he's ready for it.
I mean, because and there's other things we can talk about. Even start talking about stuff that was stolen from us. Okay.
Ooh, and that's another. You know what? That's another topic.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
And because if we go down that road, and if we start talking about all the things that we have saved them from a liquor brand to the car brand to the manufacturing to the cotton to everything else, we would be here all night long.
Yeah. We could talk about Greek letters.
Yeah.
Ooh.
That was originally Phoenician.
See.
And guess what? The Greeks got the credit because of who wrote the history.
He gonna go crazy out there.
Phoenicians were what? Black folks, African folks, look like me, you, and you. But then you got these so-called woke people that say, why y'all you African Americans trying to be Greek? Why are you trying to imitate the Greeks? Like, no, the Greeks took what was ours in the first place.
Oh, look at it. Look at it. Hey, look.
Just saying.
Listen. It is always, and let me tell you something. I know we're family here. We talk about our experiences. But when you all, I give you your props because you speak on knowledge. You speak on stuff that you have researched, and I know that. That's why I don't mind having you as a guest. You're welcome to come on 954 Miles of Conversation anytime. You are welcome. It's like family here, so with us, with you. I really have enjoyed this conversation. We needed this conversation. And I'm glad everybody was able to get on here today and to do this podcast because this is something that needs to be put out there
I
and
agree.
said. And I hope a lot of people and our viewers and listeners really, really tune in to 954 Miles of Conversation, because we're not a joke. Christy, I think you said it several months ago. We got something special. I
Yeah.
didn't understand it at
Yeah.
that particular time, but I know that it's something special
Yeah.
with 954 Miles of Conversation, and how 954 Miles of Conversation came about uh, through a experience of life and the creation of that. I'm grateful for that. Now, if I wouldn't have went through that, this wouldn't be a part today. If I wouldn't have went through that, so I'm grateful that I went through that, and God got me through it, and I moved me
Yes, he
forward.
did.
He's moved
Yes,
me
he did.
forward. He moved me forward with a good friend. He moved me forward with my relatives, and so I'm grateful for that. So I'm going to end this show saying thank you all. I know Thanksgiving is coming up this week,
Yes.
so I want you all to have a wonderful Thanksgiving and be around family members while I'm at work. And I'm gonna eat my traditional meal for Thanksgiving has been sloppy joes.
Yes, we know. Oh, well, they don't know. I'm sorry.
They don't know. They don't know. Sloppy joes.
Sloppy Joes,
Yeah,
okay.
sloppy joes and chips, and that's been my
That's been
tradition.
your ritual.
That's been my ritual, because after my mom passed away, Thanksgiving hadn't been the same no more. So,
Ah,
and
Man,
I've
who you
worked.
telling?
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
So it's not the same no more. So, but I work, and so I decided to work. They called me and said, "Yeah, would you work?" And I said, "Yeah," because they paying me triple. Yeah, I'm gonna work. So,
Of course you are.
yeah. So with that being said, I really appreciate both of y'all. Christy, you my sister. Otey, you my cousin, but you damn near like a brother now. So
Yeah.
yeah. So at the end of
Feelings
the day,
mutual.
yeah, yeah. So with that being said, to our viewers and listeners, thank you for tuning in to 954 Miles of Conversation, where we explore boundless conversation 1 mile at a time. Until next time, see you later.